హలో హాయ్ రిజెక్షన్ ఫేస్ చేసిన స్థాయి నుండి ద మోస్ట్ సాట్ ఆఫ్టర్ యాక్టర్గా ఎదిగిన తీరు ఎంతోమందికి ఇన్స్పిరేషన్. నెవర్ గివ్ అప్ యాటిట్యూడ్తో ఎన్నో అద్భుతమైన మంచి మీనింగ్ఫుల్ సినిమాల్లో నటిస్తున్న ద మోస్ట్ టాలెంటెడ్ అండ్ వెరీ ప్రొఫెషనల్ Mrunal Thakur is with me on my channel, Prema The Journalist. Hi, Mrunal.
Thank you. What a sweet introduction. And the pleasure is all mine to be here. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much, Mrunal. So, before we talk about Family Star,
Yes.
you've started your career way back, actually. అంటే ఒక 12-13 ఏళ్ళ నుంచి మీరు ఇండస్ట్రీలో రావాలని అనుకున్నారు. మీ ఫస్ట్ ఫిల్మ్ 2014 అంటే 10 years బ్యాక్. బట్ అంతకు ముందు చాలా కింద మీద పడ్డారు, చాలా స్ట్రగుల్స్ ఫేస్ చేశారు, సినిమాలో రావాలని తపన. సో దిస్ ఎంటైర్ జర్నీ టుడే వెన్ యూర్ సిట్టింగ్ అక్రాస్ మీ, హౌ డు యూ ఫీల్? What goes through?
First of all, I'm very happy to be interviewed by you.
Thank you.
And second of all, yes, my journey started quite early. Started with Marathi cinema, television, Hindi television, then an international film, then Hindi films, and now Telugu films. I will not keep focusing more on the struggles bit because everybody has to go through struggles.
Yeah.
But what is the best thing that has happened to me is my career in the South. I never imagined, although I used to really enjoy watching Telugu movies when I was growing up, but I never thought that I would actually have a parallel career in Telugu. And so Hyderabad has become like my second home. And I'm just so fortunate to be getting such wonderful opportunities to be working with such fantastic cast and crew and filmmakers. And the fact that they are showing so much faith in me as the character that I'm playing, it really means the world to me.
బట్ మృణాల్, ఐ నో స్ట్రగుల్స్ అందరి జీవితాల్లో ఉంటాయి, ప్రతి ఒక్కరి లైఫ్లో ఉంటాయి. అంటే నేను ఇంట్రొడక్షన్లో చెప్పినట్టు నెవర్ గివ్ అప్ యాటిట్యూడ్ అన్నది నేను మీలో చాలా గమనించాను. బట్ ఆ స్థాయిలో ఆ టైంలో ఎట్లా ఉండింది? అంటే అసలు నెవర్ గివ్ అప్ అన్నది హౌ డిడ్ ఇట్ యాక్చువల్లీ హ్యాపెన్?
That's because I have this, people may call it silly, but I have this habit of talking to my inner conscious.
ఓకే.
So, you're this close to giving up. This close, who is a strong person? The strong person can be a weak person, but he's this close of not giving it up. Like, sometimes. And that's what makes them strong, to not give up. I asked myself a question in the mirror that, Mrunal, today you're feeling low. You stay in bed. Okay. Day 2, you wake up, you're feeling low, stay in bed. Stay in bed. 3, 4, 1 week, 1 month. Did it affect anyone? No. Nobody's going to ask if you're there, if you're not there. But what happens is, for you, you have to start from zero again. So rather than me focusing on the negatives, I feel like it's okay, nobody is born with everything, so you have to work hard for it, and that's how you value. So I have realized that I was so hard on myself when I was in my 20s, but now I feel like I have realized I'll take one step at a time. And acting is something that gives me so much joy. Like, I can't tell you, Akka, I love the characters I play. For me, they're like my lovers, and I literally feel like a breakup when the film gets over. So if you really enjoy the job that you do, nothing will matter. You will never give up, because when the audience will see those characters, see the movie, and they'll feel like levitated, that oh my god, what has she done, or what is this movie, their expression would keep you going. So there are days where I want to give up, but there are days where I would always remember the comments of the people appreciating my work, the reaction of the people after coming out of the cinema hall and appreciating, be it Sita, be it Yashna, and be it now Family Star. Now the trailer is also out, so I'm really excited to see their reaction. But I also take the positives in a positive way and the negatives also in a positive way.
Really?
Yes. So if there is any negative feedback that has come, I'll make sure that I don't repeat that in my next.
Okay. So you take the feedback very positively.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. What's the point of me beating myself and crying all my, like Rihanna also said that, what's the point of crying, you know, you'll just wake up with swollen puffy eyes, for what? Right. So you might as well enjoy the process, and I love doing what I do. I love dressing up. I love preparing for my characters, and I love talking about it when the film is about to release.
Wonderful. కొంతమందికి ప్లాట్ఫామ్ సెట్ అయ్యి వస్తుంది. అంటే యూ కాల్ దెమ్ నెపో కిడ్స్ ఆర్ యూ కాల్ దెమ్ వెరీ వాట్ యూ సే చెరిష్డ్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ యు నో మోస్ట్ ఫార్చునేట్ పీపుల్ వాట్ ఎవర్, మనం ఏ లాంగ్వేజ్ వాడినా ఏ వర్డ్ యూస్ చేసినా కొంతమందికి ప్లాట్ఫామ్ సెట్ అయ్యి వస్తుంది, కొంతమందికి కష్టపడాల్సి వస్తుంది. కానీ ఈ ప్రాసెస్లో when you were as young as 19-20 మీరు కొన్ని కమర్షియల్స్ చేశారు. అందులో you acted as a mother of a 7-year-old. And you did చాలా హార్డ్ క్యారెక్టర్స్ లైక్ లవ్ సోనియా, సెక్స్ ట్రాఫికింగ్ మీద. అంటే ఇలాంటి రోల్స్ యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయడానికి is this just because you don't have a set platform, or is it because you wanted to do those roles? అంటే రెండు ఉంటాయి డిఫరెంట్. కొంతమంది సెట్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్స్ ఉంటాయి, మీకు లేకపోవటం వల్ల ఇలాంటివి చూస్ చేసుకోవాల్సి వచ్చిందా, లేకపోతే your choice was really from the beginning that?
When I started my career, my assumption of what nepotism would be was absolutely different up until I entered the industry. So to be very honest, I have friends who are born with privilege, but they also have to work hard. So I'm just so happy to be born in this phase, in this era, where today what we appreciate is the talent. No matter how privileged you are, it won't matter. What matters is what you deliver on screen. And everybody is working really hard. Yes, and it's not their fault also, like I've said in my previous interviews, that they're born with privileges, but at the same time, how do I not channelize my energy into that stuff and focus on myself? So even when I did not have films, in my head, I would think myself that, Mrunal, this is the time for you to prepare. So what I would do, I would go learn horse riding. I would go learn swimming. I've learned swimming in the middle of December when it was so cold. But the next thing I knew, when filmmakers would ask me, Mrunal, do you know how to swim? I'm like, yes. So for me, I did not waste that period, that phase. So I've always kept on doing something, grooming myself. Like 10 years down the line, if you see, I wasn't even confident to speak. I didn't even, my vocabulary was not good. I was not a good dancer. Now I feel like I feel internally that when I dance, I feel happy. When I'm doing action scenes, you know, in other films, I feel so confident. But sometimes I would just look at me and be like, oh my God, I don't think I can do it. But you have to keep working hard and groom yourself. Coming back to your question, which was the platform, right?
Yeah.
See, you have to create your opportunities. And for me, what matters is what I have today. So of course, when I was 18, I had to play a mother in a commercial. That's only because I was so hungry, ma'am.
Exactly.
Because the opportunities kabhi aayengi, kabhi nahi aayengi. So today I feel like whatever comes my way, I should not let it go. I should give it my best. Maybe one day I'll get a role where I'm actually playing my age, which I am.
Yes.
So, but and vice versa, if you see Love Sonia, I was actually 23 years old when I played a 16-year-old. So as an actor, it also, for me, allowed to push the boundaries that even today, if I have to play a 16-year-old, I will prep for it. And I just need that motivation. I just want filmmakers to say, or director to say, Mrunal, in first half, you have to play a 16-year-old. Second half, you have to play a 40-year-old. I'm game for that.
But when Love Sonia actually happened, see, today we are talking about Love Sonia because it did tremendously well. And I really love that character. But tell me, and what if you were typecast? Because that was the first film, Hindi film. Did you not have any such fears? అంటే ఈ సినిమాతో నా లాంచ్ అవుతోంది, టైప్ కాస్ట్ అవుతే ఏంటి పరిస్థితి, మళ్ళీ నెక్స్ట్ సినిమాలు కూడా ఇలాంటి రోల్స్ వస్తే ఏంటి, వాట్ Did that question rise?
I would be lying if I say no. Of course, you fear. You don't know what is going to happen next. Also, because Love Sonia was such an unconventional film. It had no glamour.
De-glamour, exactly.
It had no glam. It had no songs. It had no romance happening. So it was also a story about sex trafficking. And then I realized that as an actor, if I choose Love Sonia as my first, at least I don't have to prove that I can act. So that's the best thing that happened to me. And fortunately, I started my career with such incredible makers where they only brought the best out of me. And Love Sonia happened. It took me some time. I would sit in the restaurants and with multiple scripts where I had no idea what I was going to do next. But I knew that
sorry
something.
to interview you.
Yeah.
నెక్స్ట్ ఎలాంటి స్క్రిప్ట్స్ వచ్చాయి మీకు? అన్ని ఇలాంటివి వచ్చాయా? కొంచెం దరిదాపుల్లా సిమిలర్ స్క్రిప్ట్స్ వచ్చాయా నెక్స్ట్?
Yes, of course, if there were similar scripts. And it broke my heart to say no because they were extraordinary script. But again, it falls into same bracket as Sonia, a girl who's from a rural area. But I feel like as an actor, it's so important to be versatile. And if I had chosen that's why choices becomes very important. Like what comes next? Because, audience loves to be surprised. And also, your path shouldn't be monotonous. क्योंकि जब monotonous हो जाता है, then audience also like, अरे तो हर फिल्म में पुलिस ही बनती है. हर फिल्म में ये गाँव वाली बनती है. So I wanted to give them flavors. That's when Super 30 came and everybody was like, who is this girl? I got to do a little bit of Kathak. And I think the credit goes to Super 30 for me having Sita Ramam in my kitty. That's where Hanu sir and Nagi sir, Dutt sir, they all saw me in Super 30. And they're like, this is Supriya? No, that's our Sita. I'm so one film after the other. So that's what I'm trying to tell to the budding actors. Sometimes what happens, yes, we do have to pay our EMIs, correct? But we also have to choose our work carefully because that's what is going to give you the next.
True.
So, and don't think about what is going to happen. Let the film release, let people watch it, let the people see that yes, you are capable of, carrying this character on your shoulder. And I feel like if you're destined, if your heart is at the right place, if you're determined, if you are, if you're loyal to yourself, you're self-disciplined, then things will work out for sure.
Was acting always on your cards, like, right from your school days?
No, not at all. In fact, I was a big drama queen, but my parents wanted me to be a doctor or a dentist. However, I played a doctor in a movie. That's how I fulfilled their dreams. I almost prepared for my medical entrance exam, but acting, it was not. I mean, I was such a shy kid.
When did that bug stuck you? Actually?
When I was 17. I was 17 years old. Somebody asked me to audition and I was like, maybe I can, I could, maybe I should. I wanted to become Miss World.
Oh.
That's how it started. I've not shared this story a lot. I'm sharing it with you. When I got internet at home, I would search for the forms ki Miss India, because I know Miss India se Miss World bante the. So what was the process to be a Miss India, then a Miss World, and then there was the age category, there were certain things, specifications, and I was also afraid, oh my god, bikini pehnni padegi, all of that. So I was like, chodo nahi karte. So I was so scared. But my aji calls me my Miss India. That's what she tells me. Maji Miss India, Maji Miss World. So that's what she would. And
so
for
you are Miss India.
For her, yes, I'm her queen, I'm her princess, I'm everything. But trust me, that's how it started. And when I was doing my Bachelor of Mass Media, I was doing journalism in Churchgate. That's where the show was happening in the college festival. And I was quite comfortable in front of the camera. I felt, oh, maybe this is something that I can do. One of my friends told me there's an audition happening. I said, can I go? He's like, ja. You will try 4 years, 5 years, nothing is going to happen. And I'm type B personality. When someone says you can't do it, I'll show them how I do it.
Okay.
So I just cracked it. And since then, there's no looking back. I'm quite grateful to that friend of mine. His name is Kiran, who said that.
Yeah.
And I've never personally told him this, but I'm quite, I don't know, if I wouldn't have taken that challenge then, I wouldn't be sitting here doing interviews for the Family Star.
Yeah. But I came to know about one thing, that you really liked Hrithik Roshan, and when you watched his film Lakshya,
Yes.
and that was when you wanted to really act beside him and see how it manifested, and you acted in
It, you know, and it's so strange, ma'am, that you need to visualize things, you know. My sister and I, we both used to like John, Shahid, and Hrithik Roshan. And we would have posters of them in our room.
Okay.
And in, like, when dad would sit with a history textbook, you would see a cutout from a newspaper. And dad is like, what is this? I said, oh, dad, that's Didi's. And Didi would say, no, that's Mrunal's. So that's how it started. And today, to be able to work with all three of them back to back, from say Super 30 to Batla House to Jersey, it truly feels like a dream come true. And what a fantastic co-actors they've been. I've learned a lot, and I'm so happy that I whenever I think of it, it just gives me chills. Sometimes even today I feel like I'm daydreaming.
Is it true? Yeah. I can actually relate this. I mean, relate it to me in one way, wherein you know, I have been a huge, big time fan of Chiranjeevi.
Oh yeah.
I just love him. I mean, right from the age of when I was as young as 8 or 9 years old,
Oh, wow.
I used to watch him and, you know, perform, and like awe of him. And a day came when I could do his interview for 3 hours on his 60th birthday. I think that's like something which I cherish.
You were destined for it. Let's put it that
Exactly.
way. कहते हैं ना कि from the dialogue from Om Shanti Om, जिस चीज को आप पूरे दिल से चाहो तो सारी कायनात उसे मिलाने के साजिश में लग जाती है.
Correct.
So maybe that is what it is.
Yeah. And now when you're actually doing Telugu films,
Yes.
what is it that really makes you feel good about being in this industry? Because అంతకుముందు మీరు మరాఠీలో చేశారు, హిందీలో కొన్ని చేశారు, బట్ తెలుగులో చేసినప్పుడు డిఫరెన్స్ ఏం నోటీస్ చేశారు? వెదర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్, ద థీమ్స్, ద స్క్రిప్ట్స్, ఆర్ యువర్ క్యారెక్టర్, ఆర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇట్ ఇస్.
It is honest. Dil hai, like, there's not even a single day or not even a single scene that I've performed where I felt like disconnected.
ఓకే.
I did it because it's so rooted, ma'am. Like, and I'm that person. I'm very, very rooted in my personal lives as well. But I'm not saying that's the difference between Hindi or Telugu.
yeah.
In Hindi, it's also there. But maybe I haven't yet had the opportunity to play a meaty role like Sita, Yashna, and this. That's probably why. Maybe I will, and I did discover that as well in Pooja Meri Jaan, but it was much later, Sita Ramam. So I think it is also the opportunity, ma'am, to be able to get a film which is also a character. Like Sita Ramam was, for me, once in a blue moon. You won't find such characters. You won't find characters like Yashna. It came into my kitty. So this character, this girl, Evendi, is so special to me. Because, see, in my head, opportunities came. It's like water. You just have to grab it,
Yes.
So for me, this was like flowing, and I just went with the flow. And when I meet my audience, I ask them in person at the airport or at the event or wherever I'm traveling, that what is it, Akka, that you would want me to do next? They're like, Amma, like glamorous role, Telugu, dancing, songs, romance, tutu meme.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then Family Star happened. So when I was shooting for Hi Nana in Goa, that's when I met Parshuram sir in Goa, and when he narrated me the story, because this is something new. So I was a little scared. Then I came back to Hyderabad again. I met him, and he's like, Mrunal, trust me, I wrote this role only for you, keeping you in my mind. I said, sir, karte. Let's do it.
Yes.
Because this one is for my audience, I want them to enjoy, because enough of crying, I've made them cry a lot. I want them to enjoy, I want them to dance, I want them to feel good. When they come out, it should be a soothing experience.
You are queen of romance. No doubt about it.
Thank you.
No, whatever role you did, whether it is Super 30 or whether you did, even if it was Love Sonia, though the character was that, but there was some connect which, audience have with you. They just love the way you deal with the character.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think that's the big thing. అందుకనే మిమ్మల్ని ఊహించుకున్నారు సీతారామంలో. Because of the earlier characters, which was so strongly rooted and so that romantic flavor, ప్రతి characterలో ఉంది beautiful గా.
Thank you.
I think that's the reason why.
Thank
I think you enjoy, romantic dramas and all.
I just feel like there's so much love that we all have, but we're not able to express for whatsoever reasons. So I think through the film, I want to spread love. It can be Tufan. In that film, the relationship between the father and the daughter, it was so loving. So it is not typically has to be between a lover and between two lovers, but it can be any relationships. So this one, the Family Star, was really, really special because the kind of connection I have with Vijay's family is just beautiful. I mean, yes, it's extraordinary story of these two characters, but at the same time, how am I reciprocating the love that I'm getting from the family? And why do I call him a family star is the question all about.
Oh, okay.
So
very exciting.
Very exciting. And I feel like every relationship has that love. Which cannot be defined. It can only be felt. It can only be expressed through your, the way you touch, or maybe the things you do. So this film is all about love, but how do you express that love?
Yeah.
What all do you do for that love? What are the sacrifices that you make? To what extent that you can go to protect your family? And that's how we named Family Star.
Okay. But even your earlier films, like whether it is lust stories or ghost stories or whatever, everything has this romantic tinge in that, in some form or the other.
Yeah.
And you act with your eyes, Mrunal. That's the beauty, especially in Hi Nana. Oh my God, I had goosebumps in certain scenes. I had tears in my eyes, especially towards the end, the climax.
Thank you. This really means the world to me. This is what I live for, and this is why I love promoting the film, so that I can get appreciation from you. And I really hope and I pray that you enjoy Family Star, because this film is truly made by one family star, which is Parshuram sir.
Yes.
I think it takes
one family star producer.
Yes, absolutely. So it takes one family star to make Family Star.
Yes. Now I want to know, what is your role, if you can reveal, in Family Star? What are you? I know you're the love interest of Vijay Devarkonda, but in a totality,
it's about how they fall in love. What makes them fall in love, and what happens that will they end up in love?
Okay.
These are the 3 questions that I asked myself when I was preparing for the role. What is the beauty about this character is there are many shades. There is love. There are things which I have never experienced. I'm talking about the character. She's never experienced in her entire life. But at the same time, she understands the value of family. Sometimes we often take our family for granted.
Yeah.
But when you are in crisis, I know that my sister is going to stand up for me. Even though she's fighting, she won't speak to me, but she will be there for me. That's what is family all about. It's about bonds, and how my character discover those bonds and try to give her best. But universe is such that when you plan things, they don't go it accordingly. But you just have to wait.
Yes.
So the film is all about the right time, the love for family, and what is that one thing that makes her realize to call him a family star?
Okay.
Actually, I'll tell you what.
In the film?
Yes, I'm sorry to interject, but the reason why I've become so spiritual is because of the characters I play.
Oh.
Like, I think in the teaser you must have seen her wearing
Yes,
a tika
yes.
and doing her puja and all. I think this is all because of the characters I've played in
Okay.
my past.
No, all your characters are like that. Let me ask you one question.
Yes.
You've played so many real romantic roles in real. In the real life, do you connect to all those characters, and to what extent? What are the common points that you've noticed in your characters that really connect to you? And what are the things which you feel that they're just cinematic? They're not real.
See, acting is a lie.
Huh.
झूठ बोलना होता है.
Correct.
To in front of the audience. But with what conviction you lie it with.
Yeah.
And that's when I have these healthy conversations with my directors. And भिड़ जाती हूँ मैं because నేను చాలా ముండదాని, थोड़ी stubborn हूँ, but till I get the right answer from my director that why. I ask myself 5 questions, what you do in marketing and commerce में जो
Yeah, why, what,
where, what, where, whom, all of that. So all these questions are answered now. Internally, you feel like, yes, I feel confident. Either of these questions are not answered, then you're like, maybe, okay, shayad, may not, okay. So that's why it's so important for you to understand the screenplay so thoroughly in your head. I think this is just the schooling that I've had from Love Sonia to Super 30, because the process there is totally different.
Okay.
There is a lot of prep work goes into, and because I'm a psychology student, I also understand I want to study humans and their personalities, and I want to make sure that every personality that I play on screen is pole opposite from what I've been doing.
Yeah.
So, but in Family Star, Sita Ramam and Hi Nana, the process was completely different. It is more about instinct. So what happens? The magic on the screen happens when the prep and the instincts intertwine together, and then there is magic.
Okay.
So, although I trouble Parshuram sir, is like, sir, script de do, script de do. But now I've gotten loose. I've learned the process of filmmaking, because everything is about the geography, based on where you are, the location, with who, what all actors you are, and depending on what is the capability of that actor. Sometimes you don't expect, you expect that scene is going to be, oh, okay. But when that energy that actor brings on set,
Yes.
the scene just goes elevated. So then that you do not have a control. So what I have learned through Family Star process is that you should be open for changes, which I am now, and I feel very good and confident because it's preparing me, because this is what happens in theater.
Okay.
This is theater experience for me.
Okay.
Honestly, I have enjoyed my process so much, and I'm just so happy because every film say I take something or the other and I invest my entire time. I do not shoot any film while shooting one. Earlier I would do mix 2 films at the same time. But now I feel these characters require my attention. When you are a mother, you have your children, they are growing up. And that's the peak hour, that peak age that you need to be there with them. I feel like that. I feel so connected with my characters.
But how much have you evolved, or how much have you changed as a person by playing these characters?
A lot.
Especially with respect to your relationships, your friendships, your human relations, whatever it is. Whether it is love or, to deal with breakups. All these things, when you actually do these roles.
Can I tell you a secret, ma'am? I'll share the secret with you.
Yeah, please.
Because we grew up in the 90s and there was full-on Shah Rukh Khan films.
And we couldn't handle breakups at the point of time.
We couldn't, honestly. But today, I'm like, उस लेवल का प्यार है ही नहीं कि उस लेवल का breakup हो. आप समझ रहे मेरी बात? Sometimes it takes a lot of efforts, but sometimes, I was in Azerbaijan shooting, and Raghu Master was doing the choreography, and I was feeling so much love. I'm singing, hawaii chal rahi hai, baal ud rahe hain, and I was like, sir, this is the maximum romance I have experienced in my life. He's like, good, no, at least experience in the movies, if not in real life. But trust me, there are romantic boys on. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But I'm little extra romantic. So sometimes people will have to pull up their socks, or I make sure that I help them pull up their socks.
Okay.
Talking about your question, yes, relationship wise, I have become wiser. Like, what happens is when you wear the shoes of Sita, when you wear the shoes of Yashna, and now this character, the name I'm not supposed to give, of course.
Yeah.
You feel like you've already gone through, it's like solving a math problem. I've already solved that mathematics problem by wearing her shoes. So I know in my personal life, agar situation like that arises, I know what to do.
Okay.
So that's how it helps you. And because our job is such where we not just travel the whole world, but meet a lot of people. We discover about characters. Such a bookworm. Like, she likes to study. That's who she truly is. And because of this quality in this particular character, I also discover myself. I cannot be teaching a math problem without knowing the formula.
Yeah.
So I, like, for example, talking about Tufan as well, even though I was prepping for medicine, I did not know how to put sutures. But when I was prepping for Tufan, I had to put sutures on Farhan's eyebrow, for which I actually learned how to put stitches, which I'll tell you how it helped me in my personal lives. I was on a flight to New York, and I had my tooth extraction, and because of the air pressure, the suture came off. And I actually cut it off myself.
You did it by yourself?
Obviously, I did not have a scissor in the aircraft.
Then what did you do?
I had a tweezer in my pouch. I kind of sanitized it in boiling hot water for like 2-3 minutes and tweezed it myself. Where if I was not a medical student and if I have not gone through that process, I wouldn't be able to do so. So I think as an actor, it prepares you for everything.
Okay. Mrunal, I actually want to know your opinion on 3 major important pointers. One is about premarital sex. See, you've done a series of lust stories wherein Neena Gupta played your grandmother role. And she was telling, you need to prepare before you get married. How much do you think that, that is real? It is necessary, it is needed in today's day? What do you think?
I think it totally depends on an individual and an individual's upbringing. Because in spite of being raised in a metropolitan cities, I do have friends, and I sometimes also do believe that, a little old school, that maybe that one person will come and meet and, then we'll get married, ghar basayenge and all of that. So no matter whatever opinion I have on that person is still going to do what he or she has to do. So I feel an individual's opinion, they should be a master of their own mind. And I feel like I do not have any right to stop or encourage someone. So I believe one should do what they feel is appropriate.
Okay. Next.
Yes.
See, people talk so much about relationships, marriage, live-in relationships, and breakups, divorce. These topics are now today's day. It's like very common. I mean, like, you get up today and you listen. Someone is in a relationship, then someone is divorced, then someone is like breakup. It's like it's become so common, so common. What do you think about your life, Mrunal? And when it comes to such things, how much do you want to hold and how much you want to let go?
I ask myself that, is this fight that we are fighting, is it because of us or is it because of an external factor?
Yeah.
Because what we don't realize is we are not fighting with each other. We are fighting against something. So I think once you have a partner who has this understanding that as much as it is important for you to stay with me, I don't think I can, like, for example, the relationship of my parents, they love each other, but they fight a lot. And what I have realized is it is so healthy.
Yeah.
You cannot not have your opinion. But there are relationships, and today's generation especially, which includes me as well, our level of tolerance or patience is less. So it totally depends. Sometimes कोई झगड़ा कर रहा है, गुस्सा है आपसे, so you need to understand it's a turn. Like either you stay quiet in this jhagda, and then next time it's a both way. It's a 50-50 relationship. It's not Rab ne bana di jodi and mashallah everything is going to go fab. It's effort that takes from both the sides, and the time relationship falls apart is when they have options, is when they are not mentally aligned with that person, his or her dreams. That's why I feel like when you fall in love, you should not fall in love. You should rise in love with that partner. So sometimes you may not be the best companion for the person that you've been married to. And this is my opinion. I have seen people who are married second time and they're absolutely happy. So maybe the person that you were with was not the right one for you. He may be a good person, but just not right for you. Try to save the relationship as much as you can, but only so much you can give. You can, if this person is not ready to, work on it, then it's better to let go.
Both of them should work.
Yes, it's
Both
better
of them
to
should
let
make
go.
it work. Then only it will work. Otherwise, it won't.
Because no one will be happy if one person is working for it and second person is just in it for the namesake. What's the point?
Right.
I would rather not have a relationship. And I love like being in a relationship. I love pampering. I love surprises. I'm very romantic, and I expect certain efforts to be taken by my partner as well. And because at work you may get unnoticed, but when you go home, you need that validation from your lover. What makes it special? Why are you with that person? Because there's something special about that person.
Today's day, we also talk so much about the gender bias. We talk about feminism. So much we talk, especially on the social media. It's like sometimes divided. It's like totally divided. There's a division, and it is very predominantly seen on social media.
Yes.
What do you think, Mrunal? Do you think that there is still a lot of gender bias? Do you still think that there's a lot of inequality? Or what do you think?
I was raised as a son in my family. So I'm going to speak for myself. My dad is like, tu mera beta hai. And he had tears in his eyes when I made him proud, when my show came out. So growing up, I never had that gender bias situation in my house.
But when you step out of the house,
when you step out, yes.
In the society.
Yes, and everybody, ma'am, I feel like what experience you must have gone through are extremely different from what I have gone through. Now, what is the debate is? The debate is when people stand up for themselves, especially when it's a woman, they are like, oh, such a feminist. No, she's only fighting for herself. I feel equally for men as much as I feel for women. And I feel they both are geniuses in their own way. I just feel that they both should get the love and recognition or whatever they deserve. They should be happy in what they get. When does a person talk about pay parity? When they're not happy, when they think they deserve more. But when I started my career, I was very happy with the paychecks. But maybe sometimes because the deliverables is so much, then you start comparing when that comparison happens. And then you feel like, because I'm also working hard, this is also, I'm just talking as an actor's point of view. It has not happened to me, but I'm just saying what happens with my friends and the kind of discussion we have. The girls are like, we are working hard, we are also promoting the film, we are also part of the song, but why are we not getting paid as much? So that's a conversation, it's a debate. And I feel like if one feels, agar aapko lag raha hai, you are not getting the love and recognition, then what's the harm of asking? You can ask, you have the right. If you feel that you're not being loved, it's absolutely okay.
In this 13 plus long years of career, have you ever asked anything? Like not just about pay, anything else, which you felt that no, this I'm not going to do. I don't want to do. I want to do this way. This is what I feel.
Yes.
So have you ever put down your foot and said something on the face and you had it done?
So, yes, of course. And like I said, it is such a healthy creative conversation. And I would just have a conversation saying that, sir, because I advocate women, sex trafficking, child trafficking, human trafficking. So I'm not somebody who's, and because there's so much empowerment that I feel like I believe in those roles, because either in Maiden and when I played that character, she was someone who would get, there was domestic violence that was happening. And I played that part so that women understand that they should not, they don't deserve this treatment. But at the same time, it can be as small as in Hi Nana. There was a conversation with Shaurya sir and I asked her during the script reading session, ki why does Viraj buy the dog from the family for Yashna? He's like, what do you mean, Em? I said, why can't he adopt? Because that's what we're putting it out.
Yeah.
It is very unsaid. But tomorrow, when people start adopting dogs, irrespective of their breeds and all, like, it'll be so good, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, oh my God, Em, I didn't think about it. So then he inculcated that. He made me understand also why it was important. In this film also, there was one scene where I did not agree. But sir said that if I do not do this scene, you see there is a storyline. And when the climax it happens, it does make sense. That's when I was convinced. It's not about not doing it.
Yeah.
It's about how you're doing it.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like there are certain situations which are a little complicated, but you got to do what you got to do for the character. And also, when I was playing a character in Jersey, you must have seen Jersey, it's set in the 90s. I was fighting with Shahid and Gautam sir, Gautam sir, she won't do it. Shahid said, Tu idhar aa. She is a girl from the 1990. तो जो दिमाग लगा रही है वो है 2000 की. So they are two different eras, two different generations, and their upbringings were different. So do not get confused between the time, and that timeline is so important.
Yeah.
So of course there are situations which are little you're not comfortable, but I talk it out with my director, and when they tell you why it is important, you make according to mutual understanding. We meet midway and we do the scene.
Okay. Filming something, whether it could be a dance sequence, it could be a intimate sequence, it could be anything. How comfortable are you?
I'm very comfortable.
Okay.
I feel like I'm an actor. I need to be a chameleon. I need to keep changing. A chameleon, how it changes the color. I'm an actor. I need to change my clothes accordingly. And in that case, if I have to entertain you all, I can keep entertaining you all in one piece of cloth, right?
Yeah.
But then it would be boring, and that's not the nature of my job. So as an actor, we have to mold like a clay. As much as we don't enjoy sometimes, because you get dehydrated, bloated, because you're not eating, you're bloated and all of that. There are some days, but at the same time, when you watch on screen, you do not watch it as Mrunal. You watch it as that character. So I feel like if I'm not comfortable in my own skin, then what is the example that I'm setting up for the upcoming generation? So as an actor, I need to just buy what I'm doing. If I'm sold when it comes to scene, just script hai, if I know this is required, I'll do it. But if it is beyond the requirement of the character and the film, then I think every creative person, irrespective of an actor, be it a cinematographer, be it an artist, everyone has an opinion, a right to speak about it.
Yeah. One more question before we get into the cute rapid fire.
Oh my God, rapid fire is
No, that's
scary.
interesting. So the question is, there is a lot of hate also happening on social media.
Let's give them love.
This hate sometimes, pulls you down, especially on your bad days. When you're actually on a bad
Honestly,
day.
I'll tell you, ma'am, I'm so sorry to interrupt again.
It's okay.
Since Sita Ramam has released, out of 100 comments, 90 are the positive ones and 10 are the negative ones. And I, like a silly girl, would focus on the 10 ones and ignore the 90. And in my head, I'm thinking, why am I not listening to these 90 people out there?
Yes.
So day by day, Hi Nana released, everything happened. There are less and less of trolls, less and less of nasty comments. And I kind of appreciate that. And there is like this army of like full Mrunal Thakur fans who I absolutely adore. If there is anything wrong, they'll justify it. They won't have their like shove their opinion on the face, but at the same time, like I feel so good that I have people backing up.
But is that not a pressure now that you have to live up to those messages? Now that all the characters that you choose should fall in that bracket. Otherwise, again, you'll be trolled.
No.
So you're not worried about that.
First of all, in my head, I'm an artist. Okay, my dad told me this, that not everybody is on this planet born are going to like you.
Yes.
And you don't have to go that extra mile to please them to like you.
Right.
If you don't like me,
It's okay.
If you like me, great. But I'll make sure my effort is today to make those people who hate me like me. Because ऐसा क्या किया है मैंने कि आप मुझे पसंद नहीं करता है यार. मैं तो आपको खुशी करना चाहती हूँ. ऐसी कौन सी पर्सनल दुश्मनी है? There's nothing. It's just मैं अपने लाइफ में खुश हूँ. You wear my shoes, you would know how tough it is, and I would wear your shoes. I know how tough it is, and I just do not want to tell. Like everyone goes through their hardships, but at the same time, internet can be crucial. People think internet is everything. Internet is not everything.
A part of it, a small.
It's not even a part. In few days, everything will fade.
Yes.
It's about who comes to the funeral, how many friends you've made.
Wonderful. You're so lovable, adorable.
Thank you.
So let's go to the cute rapid fire. You'll enjoy. Okay. The first ever dialogue that you delivered in Sita Ramam, if you remember.
Oh,
you remember?
First first Sita Ramam scene. First scene was the pre-climax.
Okay.
Where actually where he says, "I'm not an orphan." I'm like, sorry. That was my first shot. then it was in that where I come to Durjoy and when I come to see Ram, నాలుగు మాటలు పొగిసి ఉత్తరం రాస్తే కశ్మీర్ని మంచుకి వదిలేసి వస్తారా? Is it correct?
Yeah, it's correct.
Yeah, that one was the first one.
Oh, you remember?
I mean, not all, but this was because I've rattled it like by heart.
Okay. So, one best quality in these people. Anuragapudi.
Vision. What a vision. He's calm outside, but inside there's a big storm.
Okay.
He's a visionary man.
Dulkar.
A God's child. He's a God's child.
You said in one of his interviews that husband should be like Ram. Sita Ramamlo Ram.
I fell in love with Ram.
Yeah.
Like, every girl who watched the movie came to me and said, Akka, we also want husband like Ram. I said, yeah. Same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you think there are Rams around?
Of course there are Rams.
There are Rams.
Rams, if you're there, just meet me. See? Even my ring is ready for you.
See, the ring is ready for Ram. Wonderful. Okay. Swapna Dutt.
Force. I think she can definitely run any kind of election and she'll win it.
She'll win it, huh? Oh, great. We should tell her.
Yeah.
Shaurya.
Warmth. There's so much warmth in him and hence it reflects through his cinema.
Yes. Nani?
Natural star Nani Garu. He's a good friend.
Good friend. You know what Nani told about you in an interview that he gave me? I asked him, tell something about Mrunal. He said, when she's actually doing the scene when I'm with her, I feel it is very normal. But when I actually see in the monitor, that's when I get that impact. Oh my God, what is this girl doing? So that kind of a trajectory.
That was the greatest compliment ever.
Yeah.
You know, Nani Garu has always helped me in my scenes and he's so kind. And I think only when you have that friendship is when you can take that one step and then you're like, Yash, just do this. And I was like, Nans, would it look good? Like, do it, I was like, you do, and that thing, was his suggestion.
Okay.
And it just did so well.
That's beautiful. So romantic.
Glad to have him. Yeah,
That's
I can
romantic.
always have a conversation.
Yeah. Parshuram.
My family man, he's the family star.
Okay.
And he's worked so hard, and his heart, his intentions are so good, positive, and he wants like वो होता है ना कि एक इंसान अगर
Yeah,
तरक्की
yeah,
कर रहा है,
yeah,
so you want everyone to do तरक्की.
Yes.
So he's that. He's like my elder brother.
And Vijay Devarkonda.
Oh, he's a sweetheart. And he's complicated, because you can't put it in one word.
Okay, 2-3 words.
Family star. I know,
You simplified
I'm
it so much.
I'll tell you why. Because when you watch Family Star, because you get this, when you sum it together, he's a family star.
Okay, all right, I give it to you. Okay, one aspect that you like and don't like about media.
Don't like, maybe today's generation is, are we giving importance to the news that really deserves to be a news?
Yeah.
Or is it an Instagram news?
Okay.
Then what I love about them is I just love them. They love me so much, and I have this mutual, like I have crazy amount of respect for them.
Okay.
Because the kind of hard work they do, especially in the world where there's so much competition. I know few journalists, they will always work really hard on the story, on the exclusives.
Yeah.
And I really look forward to reading those kind of stories.
Yes. Okay, among the 3 Telugu characters that you did, which is somewhere near to you? Koncham meeku daggaraga unna
Sita.
Sita?
Very much.
You're like Sita?
I'm very much like her.
Okay. Best and worst part of being a celebrity?
The best part is the world loves you. And the worst part could be, no matter where you are at when you're working, if there is anything, if your family needs you, you can't be physically there. You're stuck.
Yeah.
It's a job which requires your, you need to be there. And also, sometimes I feel like I wish I was normal. I would have gotten married in my 20s, I would have had children, and normal life, stepping out for dinner wouldn't be so problematic. But now you have to think about everything.
Yeah.
If I have to go to the temple also today, there was like so much planning that had to go through.
I know.
So, yeah, but being a celebrity is also like you bringing a change through your work.
Yes.
You are giving so much love to the audience, to the character that you're playing. So, it's a never-ending list.
Yeah. What is the biggest fear?
That I'll die?
Really?
Yeah. I feel like मैं मर जाऊंगी तो मेरी family को क्या होगा?
What is that?
That's, I mean, like people have this fear of losing their family or something, but I feel like I take like extra care of myself because I can't afford to happen anything to me because I need to take care of my family.
Yeah. Most cherished failure that you had. Because of that, today you are here.
So many.
One if you can tell.
So many. I was supposed to be a part of a really big film,
Okay.
which was an extraordinary story. And I failed in that. But because of the training that I went through, I got Love Sonia.
Oh.
And it was only possible for me to look 16 after that. And honestly, I'll tell you a secret. I couldn't afford the trainer then.
Oh.
So I'm happy the production paid for it.
Okay.
Helped me work out and get that, achieve that body. And I'm quite grateful. I think that's the best failure.
Okay. Finally, what is your favorite scene in Family Star?
2 favorite ones are before the interval, after the interval. One, when I'm on the streets, look out for this one. When I'm on the streets. And the climax, of course. In the beginning of the film, when this is the era we are in, ma'am, where in 2024, the girls are not afraid to tell the boys how much we love them.
Yes.
Even before they take a step. So that was my favorite scene, and I feel like it's so evolutionary because earlier, if you see the filmography wise, till up until 2020, the guys used to propose to the girl.
Yeah.
But here it's not like that.
Okay, so you've given me so many teasers now. Wonderful, you're waiting for Family Star.
Thank you.
Wish you good luck.
Thank
I have a gift hamper for you.
Oh wow, I love gift hampers.
This is Millet Bag.
Perfect. This is like my life is sorted.